Welcome back to SnowRunner, guys, and today we have received word that there is actually an abandoned vehicle way up in the hills. It's all rusted out. It's been just apparently chilling in some swamp or creek bed for years and years and years. And so I got out the good old trusty tow rig, hooked the gooseneck up to it, and we may very well have a really cool restoration project on our hands. So let's head on out there and see, A, if we can find this thing, and B, if we can sort of return it to some of its former glory, while also adding some upgrades in the process. So let's fire this thing up and get on our way. Now, our truck of choice today is obviously our 3rd gen Dodge Dually, and we're going to be running a set of 38-inch tires on this one. Not super huge in the grand scheme of the tires you can run on this truck, but they should be plenty for the task at hand, and they do also work really well with our gooseneck trailer. Now, let's go ahead and head for the main road and see what we can do. Now, I decided to not really worry about the tailgate today. I mean, we're only using this truck solely for hauling the gooseneck, so I didn't have a worry about it, and Beans didn't have a worry about it either, did you, buddy? Now, making my way out to the main road, obviously this thing is actually in a higher suspension setting at the moment. The suspension on this truck is adjustable, so we went ahead and adjusted it high before we set on out today because the route I wanted to take was a little bit on the rougher side, or at least until we got out onto the main road. So we'll get out here on the main road, pull up, and just check real quick. I always like to check and ease into it as we get out onto the road, and then once we're out on the road, we can lay the fuel to it. Now, we're not on our max tune, of course. We're trying to keep it a little bit on the safer side with this truck at the moment. Don't really want to fry an injector or anything like that. Just making my way on up the hill. Plenty of power, though. Plenty of power. I mean, to be fair, we are unloaded, so we'll see how this does once we're loaded. However, I don't really think the load that we're going to be carrying today is going to be all that bad because, after all, this vehicle supposedly has gone through a little bit of a process of natural weight reduction, aka rust. So right off the bat, it will have lost a few pounds there off the original curb weight of the vehicle. But apparently it's been stripped for parts, so it's missing its bumpers. Apparently, I heard from some of the locals that it was also missing its top, it was missing its doors. So we really will have to start from scratch in terms of getting this thing kind of back to where it was before. Hopefully we don't have too many rocks on the road today. You can see there was a little bit of a rock slide here recently. Nothing too bad, nothing too awful, but making my way through. Easy does it. It's always pretty driving through here, though. Not my first time driving through this area, but it's always a pleasure when I do. That rock bridge is absolutely gnarly, but it is gorgeous when you're coming across the bridge in your truck to look out through the window and see it. Too bad Beans can't really say anything to comment on it, otherwise I'm sure he'd say something. Now, this is the part where I am really glad that I have those 38s on this truck today, because had I brought the 35s, it probably wouldn't have been too happy about some of the deeper ruts on this particular section of road. This section of road really has been torn up by all the rains recently, and a lot of it's been washed away or washed out. Hopefully they come back through and resurface it at some point, but as it sits right now, it's a little on the sketchy side. Now, granted, when I was back here with my buddy last time, I mean, he was running like a 44-inch tire, so the ruts themselves weren't really even any kind of an issue for him. Now, I think we should be getting somewhat close to where this vehicle was reported being seen last. So, once we actually get a little bit closer to it, we're going to leave the trailer down here and see what we can do in terms of, let's actually leave the trailer right there, and we'll go looking for this vehicle. Now, I think if my information serves me correctly, there's a chance it could be up this way. Now, I don't know how this big old dually is going to take to something like this, but hopefully we don't really have to go too far to find our vehicle. Not bad. Definitely got ample amounts of grip. Okay, this I don't believe is the right way. I think we went down the wrong trail. Although, I don't really have this area programmed into my GPS yet, so I'm kind of going off of what the local area people told me in terms of where this vehicle was. Now, I believe there was another trail entrance back here, and that should get us close to where this vehicle is located. And we may have to just kind of tow strap it back to where we are. And if that ends up being the case, then so be it. We may have to break trail just a little bit. I really do want to find where this vehicle is, though. Now, thankfully, the terrain out here isn't too bad to where breaking trail is fairly easy to do. So let's ease our way on up. And there should be a body of water up here. Kind of like a swamp, kind of like a miniature lake, kind of like a spring head almost, but not really. More of a flooded out creek bed, if anything. Easy does it. Making sure not to roll over. Should be getting somewhat close now. And I think this is the area that they were talking about. Let's see. Do we see anything? Do we see anything? Oh, I think I see something up there. I think I see something up there. Let me shut the truck off. And we're going to go ahead and hop out and walk up there. And it seems as though, wow, this is super muddy. This is super muddy, and the rocks are gnarly. I don't even know how they got this thing out here in the first place, but there it is. It's definitely looking a little bit like it's seen better days. It's definitely rusty, and it's definitely missing some pieces. But at the same time, there's absolutely potential here for a build. So first things first, we're going to have to get the truck out here. We're going to have to fish this thing out. Then we're going to have to get it back down and get it on the trailer. So let's try and do this without beaching the truck. So let's get you fired up. And see about making our way out here. 4 low for sure. This mud is bad. This mud is very deep. It's making these 38s feel like 33s, that's for sure. Wow, it's making me lean as well. It's making me lean bad. Luckily, I brought a tow strap at the very least. Whoa! Man, I'm getting a little nervous with this mud. It's really sinking the truck down in there real bad. Whoa, it tipped. Acted like it was gonna tip. There we go, just find some grip. Find some grip. There we go. So I'm trying to see if I can make my way around the backside of where that vehicle is sitting, which, to be honest, I think it's completely capable of doing that as long as we stick near the water's edge. As long as we stick near the water's edge. We're getting some good grip from the rear with those dualies, though. They really do a good job of distributing the weight. All right, we're going to winch it out. Then we're going to use a tow strap to get it back to the trailer, hook up the trailer, get this guy on the trailer, and then get it back to town. Shouldn't be horrible. I keep saying, like, it shouldn't be too bad, but really, we're not even into the recovery yet, so let's see. Whoa, that was leaning bad. All right. Now, first thing I'm concerned about is actually the route I could take to get it out of here, because I don't want to roll it over, but I think this is still my best shot. What are some suitable winch points for it? Oh, man, only the side? That's going to be sketch. Can pull it just a little. Just a little. There we go. She's making her way out. Come on. There we go. Now, do we have any rear points? We have one. One usable rear point. Let's put that tow strap to use. Trying to make sure it doesn't flip over. Thankfully, it doesn't seem like it wants to flip over. Happy about that. All right, now we're going to tow, or at least we're going to turn our truck around and tow it from the rear now. We're going to use our hitch. We're going to put our hitch to use, because that hitch is definitely useful for things other than towing trailers. We'll get you turned around. Ease my way back down through the mud, trying to, A, not get stuck, B, not roll over. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm in trouble. I am in trouble. Easy. I gotta be real easy and gentle with it, otherwise it is gonna get into dangerous territory really quick. It can go slightly forward and slightly back. You know what? Actually, thankfully we got a stump up there that we can winch to. Or something. Just a little bit. Man, I came out here to recover this thing and I ended up recovering myself. But isn't that how it goes sometimes? Alright, this should be about the threshold length of my tow rope. So let's see if it'll reach. Just barely. Let's make our way on out. Come on. Come on. There you go. So now we just got to get you back to the trailer. Pulling carefully. Pulling real carefully. Is there a better way to get back to the truck? There's actually a trail right here. But I don't know the trails around here, so I don't know if that goes back to the main road or if that takes us in a different direction altogether. Regardless, we might have to take a bit of a gamble on it and see. Come on, make your way out. Really using that tow strap well. Come on. God, yeah, this thing is definitely going to need to get cleaned up. It's going to need to get... We're going to need to actually do a big, you know, rust removal operation on it. God, I don't know if we can make our way down along the side of the falls. Looks like there's somewhat of a road right here, though. We'll make our way up there and see what we can do. Trying not to cause any more damage to that thing than it already has. We've gotten our tow rig dirty, but we haven't gotten it damaged. So as long as we can keep it from getting damaged, I'm okay with it getting dirty. All right, this feels like somewhat of a road. So we'll make our way down this way. This looks like the right way to go. Gonna try not to tow it too fast. Just want to be somewhat reserved about it. Now this road should loop into the area where the trail actually started, and then we can go ahead and get our new project onto our trailer. It's always exciting loading up a new project. It really, really is exciting. Always exciting. Still not going too fast. I'm keeping it at a 6th. If I go into 6th, it'll be way too much. Way over the top and way too much. Alright, where's my trailer? Keeping an eye out. There's the bottom of the waterfall. There's the bottom of the waterfall. Once we get down to... I see my trailer. Alright, beautiful. Beautiful. So my trailer is in sight. And now, really all I have to do is tow this guy around to the back. And then we're going to need to get him up on the trailer somehow. But that shouldn't be too hard. I mean, after all, we've definitely taken care of the hard part. At least it seems like we have. Whoa, alright. I did not anticipate the entry to that bridge being that sharp. Probably have to do a little bit of suspension service on the truck when we get back. Alright, let's pull you around to the side and get you ready to be loaded up. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and set you right there. Alright, we're going to set you right there. Now, we're going to go ahead and get this guy turned around and get him hooked up to the trailer. And then finally, we'll be on our way back to town. Easy does it. Alright, let's go ahead and back it up. There we go. Put the trailer up. So there's good to go on that. Now we get to go ahead and put the ramps down and potentially get that guy in position to get it back to town. Well, as the daylight starts to fade, it was definitely quite the task getting it loaded up on the trailer, especially because of the fact that since it's been sitting out there in the water for so long, I mean, it didn't fire up. There's really not much to be found here in terms of any engine functionality or transmission functionality. So either way, with some creative winching, we got it up there on the trailer, and now it's time to go ahead and get it strapped down and secured and get it back to town. Let's go and get those ramps up as well. And once we get those ramps up off the ground, there we go. Those ramps can be a little temperamental sometimes. Let's go ahead and head back. Now, we're going to have to turn around, but that shouldn't be too bad. There's a little pull-off up here that we may be able to back the trailer into. Just to get it turned around. All right, start swinging the truck wide. There we go. Just as long as we don't tip or upset the trailer, we'll be just fine. Easy does it. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right, go ahead and get her out of there. And we're good to go. And by the way, I gotta say, I'm pretty happy we have that thing on the trailer, man. I'm really happy we have that thing on the trailer. Really happy with what we found. And honestly, once we have it back to the shop, we'll throw some bumpers on it. We'll get it running again. We'll be good to go. We might even put a totally different engine in it. Thing does ride really, really well, even over the bumps down here. Because these roads are not the greatest condition, and it's no sweat for this truck, for sure. It's not damaging itself out. It's not getting into trouble. It's just moving out. Just moving out. And then once we get out onto the pavement, we can really lay the power to it. God, this bridge is even more beautiful at sunset. It really all depends on what time of day you come through here. At any time of day, obviously, it's going to be a gorgeous sight, but man, like right before sunset, this bridge is absolutely gorgeous. It really is absolutely beautiful out here in these mountains. Now, as we make our way down the main road, this is where we can kind of relax and reflect on what we did, although we got to try not to relax too much, because if you get a little too carried away, you can definitely dump the truck and trailer off the edge of the hill, and that's really not what we want to do today. I would really rather not have to get a massive wrecker out to recover all that we worked hard to get today. Well, easy. And as a matter of fact, we almost did it right there. Even when I was trying to be careful, we still overcooked it coming in. Come on. Not bad. Wow, sunset over town is crazy. Dude, look at that view. That is nuts. That is absolutely incredible. You can see town over there. Wow, over there on the right. That's amazing. The colors really do come to life at this time of day. Trailer wanting to pass me for a second. Let's not do that. Yeah, I'd really appreciate it if we didn't do that. But yeah, we got to get this thing dropped off at the garage. We got to feed beans. We got a lot to do still, but it will not be a bad run at all. Should probably have my lights on at this point. Late afternoon, dusk really at this point. Past late afternoon, well into evening. Feels like it's well into evening anyway. So as I make my way back on up to the garage, we're going to go ahead and get this thing off the trailer and roll it into the garage. And the next time you guys see this thing, it will be a whole new beast entirely. A whole new beast entirely, that is for sure. Well, what we found recently just abandoned in this creek bed has now been turned into something that we can definitely have fun with off-road. Now, obviously, the paint could use a little bit of work and we could use to do a couple more improvements in the future, but it's definitely brought back to life by the snorkel, a suspension refresh, wheels and tires, and the tube doors, the bumpers. It's definitely looking a lot better. Also got the windshield banner on there, got a new top on there, got a roll bar in there, and refreshed the seats, refreshed the interior. And so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing where we could go with this thing in the future. But if you guys enjoyed this recovery and vehicle restoration almost, or at least partial restoration, then let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time.